wait, before you even touch Madden 20, you have to realize there are a couple things you guys are going to have to do. Regardless of whether you've been playing the game for years or if you're a newcomer, maybe wanting to try out a football video game based, series, this is what you have to do before you play it. Because unlike other Maddens, this is a completely and utterly different game. So I'm going to be getting into some things you need to do before you play Madden 20. I know it's been out for over a month and a half now, but let's be honest, this game is very different. There's been a lot of updates, patches, and it's not the game you once knew and loved. Well, I mean, if you did love the recent games, I guess you could say that, but still, I just think this game is completely different, and you guys have to understand that before playing it. Hello, welcome everyone. This is JT here with the Madden Island, coming at you with another video. Make sure before today's video loads up to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know in the comment section down below if you did subscribe. That way, you can be entered in this month's subscriber giveaway, where we shout out one lucky viewer who subscribes, comments down below saying they subscribed, and turns our post bell notifications on. It really means a lot when you guys show all this loving, caring support. So we're going to do our best to provide excellent quality videos and show you guys different techniques, methods, all that stuff in Madden 20. Or we'll even get into some NFL discussions as you guys have been seeing. But without further ado, let's get into today's video. Do this before playing Madden 20. Now, basically, before you play Madden 20, you have to understand a couple things. First, you got to get the settings right. The settings is always the toughest thing to get right, because let's be honest, the settings are always changing. And it's weird. I don't know why they do this every year in Madden, but the settings always get reset to default at the most weird times. For example, you could be playing for a week straight on certain settings that you set it to, not play the game for a day or two, come back and the settings are reset to default. Now, I don't know about you, but this is very frustrating. So what you can do to make sure this never happens again is if you play Madden with your friends and you use two different profiles, make sure on both those profiles the settings are exactly the same. The game does this because it recognizes that these settings are different on other accounts. So when you sign into another account or you sign into no account on it, it's going to reset it. So you got to make sure before you even get into Madden, you're signing in on the main account and all the settings are the same as maybe another one you use. If you don't use another one, that's great. Just make sure before you sign in the game that you're always having to be on your main profile you're using the game on, because it will change and it will be frustrating. You could be in an online match and, for example, maybe some of your camera settings are different and you got to play that whole online match on those settings. So me personally, I always make sure my settings are right. That's just kind of been a force of habit for me once I sign into Madden. I always check to make sure my settings are okay. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. It just all depends on what your settings are set at. So make sure you're always checking that. Here we have now, you got to make sure when you're going into Madden, you understand the different types of games you can play within it. Because let's be honest, there are a lot of different game modes within the game. You have franchise mode, you have Madden Ultimate Team, you even have a mode called Superstar KO, which we're going to be getting into a later on video this week. But these videos are very precautious, and these settings and all these different game modes are very different. Now, what you have to realize is these game modes don't exactly play all the same. Franchise is a little bit different because you can put it on different, difficulty settings, that kind of stuff. You can go from competitive game mode to simulation to arcade. So I would just recommend, if you're doing this, you understand the different types of games. It's very important. Another thing you have to realize is in the franchise mode, there are a lot of things you have to realize. For example, you're pretty much the head coach. You call the shots from trading players to which skill points you want to add to upgrade certain players, to even drafting all these different types of college players coming out of the draft to better your chances at getting your team to a Super Bowl contention team. Now, I love franchise mode. I don't play it as often, but when I get invited to one, it's just a fun experience. You have that authentic NFL team experience. You play a lot of good people, especially if you're in a competitive league, and you can really do damage with people in there, because usually a lot of people will try and trade for good players. They'll try and trade for draft picks, and you just have to be smarter than that, honestly. If you have a player that you really like and you can see the potential in him, and maybe his skill set is actually going to push him over the top in the franchise mode, and at the moment he's maybe like a 75 overall, try and make that player a starter, get him better, so that in maybe 2 or 3 years in that league, you will actually have him at like a 91, 92 overall, that kind of thing. And that player will be, from an unknown starter to a Pro Bowl contender every year. That's what I love about franchise mode. You can give these unnamed rookies, these dudes you watched in college, maybe you're a fan of a certain college team, you can pick up that player and make him into a superstar caliber player. It's really cool. It's honestly very exciting to see. Here we have, lastly, I think this is a very important Madden Ultimate Team. When you're getting into the game, a lot of people say you got to spend money to compete in this game. There is a certain truth to that, but also, if you're playing the game, you can go no money spent. And what no money spent is exactly what it sounds like. You don't spend any money on the game, and you play all the solo challenges, you do all the completions, you play a lot of head-to-head seasons games, and you get your overall up by that. There usually, at the end of the year, are a lot of people who went no money spent the whole year, and they end up having 99 overall God Squads. And it's not because they ended up getting lucky pulls or that part. They ended up actually working their butt off and trying to get the best cards through grinding solos, through grinding everything. It's cool to see, and it's the truth. You can literally see these people who have maybe spent no more than $5, even though that's not considered no money spent. It low-key is, because $5 is nothing in this Madden. They get to a 99 overall. And you ask them, how'd you do that? And they'll tell you all these things they did. And usually the people not wanting to put in the work, like myself, honestly, I don't have the patience to go no money spent. It's literally impossible, because you have to try out different cards. You have to see what cards you like. You got to try out different playbooks. You're going to lose a lot of games when you first start. But the grind overall is very fun. You got to embrace it. Even though the game isn't in the best state it can be in, you still can embrace the grind. And that's what I always tell people. If you want to embrace the grind, that actually adds a more better atmosphere, or I should say a different atmosphere to the game we already play. Even though the gameplay isn't there yet, the grind is probably what would make you a little bit more happy, because then you can feel accomplished at the end of the day, knowing that team you got to a 95, 96, 99 overall, you literally did pretty much for free. You spent hours, but you worked your tail off, and you ended up embracing that grind, and that's what got you to that point. So that's pretty much it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video as I much enjoyed it bringing it to y'all. I can't speak right now, but make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe on today's video, guys. This is JT signing off from the Madden Island, and as always, see you guys later.